Oh, okay. Not only was he just so this last thing, not only was he so ridiculous with his hump and the groaning, but they named him Greg. Like it's just such like like not even like Igor or something like very kind of like it's Greg. Greg. Anyway, that was it.
What the fuck is that in the It's a
It's a
North
hippie.
Carolina hippie.
Carolina and hippie again. We're still here, aren't we? Were we here last time?
Yeah, we're still here. But I have to say, of all the states, I wouldn't have expected the roads of North Carolina to be so just covered in hippies. How, how many have we went over now?
Running over them. Yeah.
If this was Death Race
Speed
2000,
bumps.
well, we wouldn't get that many points because I think hippies are they don't get as much points as like running over a child with a baby carriage or something, right? But still,
Hmm.
quantity over quality, our points would be up there, I think.
Right.
Anyway, haha, we jest
Huh.
about the
About running people
homicide
over.
of long-haired dropout individuals. It
Vehicular manslaughter.
is but a jest, and actually we're here to talk about regional horror films. All right, calm down, calm down. I know it is pretty fucking hilarious. And yeah, we're still in North Carolina, and this time we're circling Charlotte, North Carolina. And we got a couple of films from the 70s. Uh,
Yes, we did.
which I mean, I'll be quite interested to see. I mean, I will guess up front. I'm pretty good at doing this by now. I like
Okay.
both of these films more than Ron did,
Okay.
but you never know.
You
Ron
never know. Okay.
has a way of surprising you sometimes, just like a hippie jumping in front of your car.
For your car. Yes.
Yeah. So off we go then. 72 from 1972. We watched The Body Shop,
Mm.
aka Dr. Gore. Uh,
Hmm.
directed, written, produced, starring J.G. or Pat Patterson, who I think was a TV horror host, maybe as well, I think,
Okay.
in North Carolina. He'd been in at least one Herschel Lewis film, and yeah, so this is his attempt at a regional gore film in that kind of post H.G. Lewis kind of vein. And to be fair, for 1972, it's pretty gory, I would say.
Yeah.
If you're interested
Well
in,
titled.
yes,
Dr.
if you
Gore.
are interested in those kind of early days of colorful gore, which I am, I have to admit, like after a certain point, gore becomes just so ubiquitous that you don't even notice it anymore, right? But
Yeah.
going back to the 60s and 70s when they were still kind of experimenting and it was still kind of a bit shocking. It's interesting because it's still kind of a bit shocking somehow, right? Seeing it in this time period is like,
Yeah.
that's
So
horrible.
yeah, some of the special effects were quite like
Yeah,
realistic looking actually too.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah. There was like a few, I mean, it's basically, as far as I could tell, it's the variation of sticking your head through a hole in the table or an arm or something. But sometimes they did it like at angles and things that
ah,
it was like, oh, how's she holding her arm like that? You know what I mean? It looked like,
yeah, 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 yeah,
but it was
yeah.
moving, so it was clearly that's what it was. But
Mm,
they fiddled with the somehow it looks
mm,
quite good.
mm.
Um, yes. Also, another figure of interest who kind of distributed this was a guy called Jeffrey C. Hoag, who I think will probably come up again on the show. Who was a guy who distributed a lot of these kind of regional oddities back in the day. Um, so this story is struck me while I was watching it. This is a little bit, obviously, it's basically a Frankenstein spin-off, but
Mm.
also a little bit Frankenhooker,
Ah, yeah.
isn't
Hmm.
it? Um,
Yeah.
for those of you who remember Frankenhooker, he gives them the super crack that makes them explode, and he can pick and choose his body parts. So very much in this film, yes, the where he calls himself lovesick. I think he is just very horny. But the main doctor is played by Pat Patterson. His beloved wife has died, right?
Uh,
And
yeah.
as far as I can tell, correct me if I'm wrong, I might be remembering this wrong, but I don't think she was in any way like dismembered or she's just dead.
No, I think she just died. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So as much as he apparently loves her so much, it's not good enough to just revive her. He's he's reviving her with bits of the
He's like,
hottest
it's a
women he
very
can find.
conditional love. He's like,
Yes.
I loved you and I want you back, but I'm going to bring back another woman that's completely different from you. And I'm going to make her because you were not perfect. So I have to make someone else that is more perfect than you. Right. So,
Yes.
like, oh, a good, yeah.
Yeah. But don't get me wrong. I love you
Yeah.
forever
But
and
I
ever
loved
and
you.
ever.
And
Yeah.
it was all about you, of course.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But
But,
this
I'm
one
going to
over
make
here has
someone
got
else
a
completely different because,
cracking rack. I want
yeah, yeah,
them.
bet
And
much
this
better.
one,
Yeah.
yeah, this one looks good in a mini skirt. I'll have
Great,
some
great.
of that.
Yeah, it's great legs on this one. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's all about you, but
Yeah. Yeah.
nothing to do with you at all, right? So, but,
Yeah.
yeah,
More power to him.
yeah,
Yes.
sure. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I'll be honest. It seemed like Pat Patterson basically just created this movie so that he could get some, because I mean they had quite pretty attractive
Oh,
women there
Christ, yes. Fucking
who
hell,
were
yeah.
quite quite simply out of his league. I
Oh,
would assume you would say,
yes.
and
Yes.
that he's somehow convinced them to make out with him and do sort of sexual scenes with him simply because I'm writing and directing this movie and you're going to be in this movie with me, but
Yeah.
you have to like make out with me and have stimulated sex and all stuff. So I'm sure it was like his way of just trying to get it on with girls that he would never normally get it on with, right? So
We salute you, Pat Batson.
yeah.
Yeah, no, particularly the final end result, Anitra, and
Uh,
there's like a secretary, a blonde secretary picks up as well, who has a topless scene, right? I'm thinking, fucking hell,
uh,
yeah. I mean,
and the one on
yeah,
the beach that like the first one,
yeah,
so yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, no,
Yeah.
no.
And
He's got
he's
good
always got like
taste.
he's always got a cigarette in his head. So he's always like his like cigarette is held up like he's like eating their face.
Also, most people will be quite surprised to hear that Bill Hicks is in this film.
Oh yeah,
Amazingly.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it's not that Bill Hicks. It's some
Yeah,
kind of
different Bill Hicks.
horrible lounge singer, Bill Hicks and the
Yes.
Rainbows, right? Who
That's
play
what
the
that confused me a little bit because I was like, is this the Bill Hicks doing
no,
like a character or the okay.
yeah, yeah, no, he sings the theme tune, which is just fucking horrible, right? It's either that or that creepy version of all the things
Oh
that
yeah.
sugar and spice and
How did it go? Like it was like haunting me for days that boop 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 boop
yes,
boop boop
yes,
boop.
that's yeah. There's
Like
an
what? Like
electronic
how did
version as well. Yeah,
yeah yeah. It was only like eight notes or something, but it was like cycling around in my head for like 3 days afterwards, right?
Um, that said, though, I mean, there's watch. I'd seen this film before, and I don't think I'd been really paying attention to it before. I was seeing it around the time I was seeing a glut of kind of similar films or something. But this time I was seeing it in isolation and paying a bit more attention. It's definitely got a very tongue-in-cheek sense of humor about itself as well, though, doesn't it?
Mm,
I think like
yeah
it kind
yeah yeah.
of it doesn't do it too much, so it's annoying. But there's like so for instance,
Well,
Pat, Pat,
wait, before you go on to you
yeah,
forgot a very important part of this movie.
okay. Well, I was going to mention the Hunchback. Is that what you're going to mention?
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Well, I was saying you can't
Yeah,
talk
oh yeah,
about
the
this movie
Hunchback's great.
without talking about Greg.
Yes, yeah, he's the star of the film, isn't he?
He really is.
He's great.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Oh, you did enjoy this film, as much as
I did
he's-
actually.
yeah.
Why do I? Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, no.
I
I
interrupted.
was going to say because because yeah, this it's an interesting thing because of course it's such a cliche. You've got the mad doctor and you've got the hunchback assistant, but they make such a kind of like you normally they just gloss over his hunchback assistant, but this is one of the only film I can think of where it's like a they make a big deal out of it, right? Like
Yeah,
he has to help him on with his lab coat,
yeah,
and you can
yeah.
always see the bottom of his back because his clothes don't fit properly,
Yeah, yeah.
and at
The
some point he
hunch
has to
keeps
open
moving. The hunch
yeah.
moves back and forth between the different parts of his back.
And he has to open the door at some point, and the doctor's like, "Oh, I open the door. Put on a coat before you open it, so they don't know you're a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hunchback." And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I think they might be able to
I
figure
think
it
this.
out.
I think they'll still know.
But that stuff is pretty funny. The other
But
bit
but
that
it's
made
not
me
even that. Not only that, like he can't speak either. He just goes.
yes, the new
Uh,
type, yeah. And of course he gets jealous as well because Doctor Go promises to make a companion for him in the Bride of Frankenstein era, but he doesn't and ends up throwing acid in his face and putting him in a
yeah.
after back to the Go as well. The acid bath stuff was really cool. So
Oh yeah.
really seemed
Yeah.
like a out of an EC horror comic book or something. Like
Mm,
it
right.
really
Yeah.
had that comic book feel. But the other bit that I thought was really, really funny is there's a sheriff who comes round, right? And
Oh yeah.
obviously, there's been some rumors or something about something weird going on in this because it's a real castle. Well, I don't think it's not it's obviously not an ancient castle. It's like a modern castle that's been built, but it's a
Mm,
real one called the Overlook Castle in North
mm,
Carolina. I wonder if you can still visit. I wonder if if it's private property or I don't know. I would quite like to visit
mm,
Overlook Castle and put a pillow up my back and pretend to be Gregory and walk around. But there's a bit where a sheriff turns up knocking on the door, and this is I guess it's it's figurehead of law and enforcement in this town. He's heard rumors people have clearly gone missing in the area. The sheriff doesn't even enter the house. He knocks on the door, and when they answer him, he goes, and this is exact dialogue from the sheriff, "You're not doing anything illegal there, are you?" And they say, "No, no." And, okay, and he goes away. It's brilliant. Yeah,
mm.
yeah, fantastic.
And they also had obviously he had come across some like relatively authentic looking equipment, which they spend a sizable portion of the screen time focusing in on these equipment pieces, like
Yes.
levers or meters going this way and then and like little like coils moving. So they it seems like they've got like two or three of them, and they just keep cycling through the three of them over and over and over again. Right.
I'm
So
I'm wondering actually. I didn't have a chance to look this up. It's something I thought. I'm wondering if it might be the original Universal Strickfaden lab equipment because that
oh
stuff
really? Mm.
did turn up in loads and loads and loads of low budget films, and yeah, up
Oh okay.
until like the 70s, right?
Mm.
So
Yeah, well, he was certainly pleased to have this equipment because he really focused on it a lot.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I have to admit that I still don't understand exactly how the surgery work. Like he picks up all these women. I don't know which bits he's taking, and then he doesn't seem to have enough bits. I didn't understand what the base
And then
was,
and
which
then
bits he was
and then when the
using.
girl comes at the end, she doesn't have any of the pieces
No,
from the other. It
no,
doesn't look anything like any of the other. And the whole idea of like the making a woman idea never really made any sense to me. It's like, well, there's lots of beautiful women. Just pick one. Why do you have to like pick pieces of it and then sew them
yeah,
together? Like I don't know. Like I'm sure there's one that can have all those pieces if you look hard enough, right? So
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. So, but
And then
neither
those
here nor
those
there.
mo
So
the romantic montages when I mean,
oh
it's like
yeah, yeah.
incel heaven, isn't it? Because it's all like she like she's just built to look at him lovingly and not get
Yeah,
involved in anything
until
complicated.
he has this. he also can like hypnotize
Yes,
the people,
yes.
right? So he just looks up and hypnotizes them, and so he hypnotizes some women, and then and this when he hypnotizes her and goes, "You yes, yeah, full insult, which is like you can't speak, you live only to please me, you only can say what I teach you, and you can like." And I was like, that must get really old. Like he's basically like making her into a toddler, into a baby, and he basically had
Yeah.
to teach her everything. I was like, why is that something you'd want to do, to be able to you have to teach her how to like speak and read? And I was like, I don't know, like I think I would get that would get really tiresome if I was picking a woman that didn't know how to do anything and I had to teach her to go to the
Your
toilet,
problem,
basically.
Ron, is that you're too well balanced and not an incel, right?
Yeah, I
Otherwise, it
guess
would
so,
make
yeah.
perfect sense to you. Um,
But like, I mean, the way he was doing it was like she wouldn't know how she would be potty trained. I mean, like, like is he gonna wipe her ass too? I mean, like,
yeah, I want to see the European scat cut.
yeah,
Uh,
he's the
yeah, the
the enema
version
bandit.
they released in Germany in the 80s with like inserts. Um,
Yeah.
but
Um.
yes, but should anyone, start to kind of think, oh, this sounds kind of gross and weird and everything. The thing is, it's clearly a bit of trolling, isn't it? It's a little bit of
Yeah.
a kind of, it's not supposed
Yeah.
to be taken seriously.
No.
No.
Yeah. So yeah.
And it is kind of fun and hilarious as well that on our other show, Magic Morning Wood, when we talked about the criminal life of Archibald de la Cruz, the Louis Buñuel film.
Yes, I got
This
mixed up with
this
this one.
got mixed up in your brain with that.
I don't know why, because I watched it all at the same time. I don't know how I got them mixed up, but anyway, yeah.
But there you go.
Because the
Could be a
ending was
potential,
really strange, though,
yeah, it could be a
and
potential double bill.
I think it was because the criminal life of Archibald de la Cruz was so kind of episodic
Mm,
and didn't always fit together, and it was about him being sort of unhinged, and
right.
that's kind of how this movie ends, where out of the blue, suddenly he's in a cell, but but didn't see him show him getting like arrested or anything, and but he thinks that, and so people that you've never seen before in the entire movie come to visit him, and he's talking to them, but he thinks that they're in the cell even though he's in the cell, and then they walk away, and that's the end of the movie. I was like, that was such a strange way to end this movie, having brand new characters, and then like I didn't know what to make of that. What did you make of it?
Yeah, no, it is. I thought so. It was kind of interesting choice, and it did actually wrong foot me as well. Like I didn't expect the film to
Because
kind
it
of
was
wrong foot
I
me.
think that's why I got it mixed up, because it was so out of the blue and
Yes,
didn't really
yes.
fit in with what the rest of the movie was, that I think I just picked it up and put it with a different movie, that it seemed
Yeah.
to probably fit better with the Archibaldo than it did with this movie, right? So
It's also quite a good scene, the unrelated from anything else in the film, really. But yeah, he's in and he's kind of chatting up the I guess the caretaker or something, like the woman who's like cleaning the wherever he is, like it's a cell in like a police station or something, right? And then some LQ Jones lookalike comes in and starts chatting up the woman who's cleaning up, and he's like, "Wanna go see some wrestling?" And they have a little conversation about, yeah, okay. And I quite like that little little exchange where
mm,
he's convinced her to go and see some wrestling.
yeah,
Um,
nice.
but yeah, no, it's yeah, it's quite a fun, odd little
Yeah,
go
yeah. I mean,
black comedy, I guess.
I think if they had cut down like those really long, drawn out kind of like walking in the woods with the woman with while the romance music plays, like I think that part
No,
really didn't need
I
to be as long as
insist
that
they
way.
be included, Ron.
No, it can be included, but like it was like 30 minutes of them just walking through the woods and loving each other, and so it was really long. I think if they even like 10 minutes less, I think it would be like pretty close to being a like a perfect low budget horror movie. Like kind of like it was because it was really enjoyable. Like even like what's his face? JG, Pat Patterson, him
Yes,
himself, he definitely he knew like he knew what he was making, and he
I think
wasn't
so.
really taking
Yes.
himself too seriously, right? So I
Yeah.
think I so like I think a lot of the problem with a lot of these types of movies is that they're trying really hard to make a really good movie, which is
Mm.
obviously not going to happen. But he was just like, oh yeah, I can do some good gore, and I'm just gonna like ham it up for
Yeah,
the
I
for
mean,
the for the
it can
for the
go either
camera,
way.
and yeah,
Sometimes when something has a bit too much tongue in cheek, it can kind of annoy me. But I think
yeah,
the
yeah,
balance here is just right.
I think
Oh, by the
yeah,
way, I
it was
forgot
okay. Yeah.
his acting credit is Don Brandon, American's #1 magician, because I think that was part. I think he was
Right.
also a magician as well as a horror host. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, he wore many
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
hats, did Pat
Yeah.
Patterson.
He did a little bit of magic in there too, or so. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
the hypnotizing thing was part of his magic actor or something. Maybe I don't know. So
yeah. He
yeah.
utilized all his skills to get
Yeah.
hot women and film it.
Yes.
Well,
So good on him.
Pat,
Yeah.
good on you. He directed a couple of other films. As one I've seen called The Electric Chair, which is kind of a. I remember being nowhere near as entertaining, very, very slow, kind of more of a courtroom drama than anything, but it was kind of
Mm.
billed as marketed as a horror
Oh,
film, but it wasn't
right. Right.
really. But yeah, I was wondering as well. Because I noticed it had a commentary track. I listened to the commentary track, and it was someone interviewing the producer Jeffrey C. Hogue. But I was half expecting, like I said, because of the Frankenhooker thing, and I bet he's a fan, even if he wasn't out and out influenced by this film. I thought it might be Frank Henenlotter on the commentary track, but
Ah, yeah.
I bet Frank Henenlotter likes this film.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Man,
Yes, so
great.
there we go. The Body Shop surprisingly gets a big thumbs up from both Ron and myself.
Yeah.
Which shows you,
I like.
how easily swayed we are. Just stick some hot women in your film and we're on your
I was
side.
thinking this would have been the perfect movie, I think, for us to like get some gummies and watch it together.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, like just like grape gummies that you buy at a convenience
Oh
store,
yeah,
sort of
some
thing.
sweets. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Sweets, yeah,
No, good call. We'll do that one day,
yeah,
maybe. We'll
yeah.
put on a screening.
They're they're my snack of choice.
I would like. I don't know how I could pull it. You could pull it off if it's just getting off my ass and doing it, because you can like hire like bars and things for the evening, where they get a little pull
Uh,
down screen and stuff.
right, yeah,
But if we were to put on just little fun little screenings for friends who just see,
mm,
500 yen or 1,000 yen to get in or something, and
yeah.
this would actually be quite a fun one to show
I
to
think
an
yeah,
audience.
this would be up there. I think yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
along with yeah, a couple of other ones from this road trip too, like the what was the last one that I enjoyed? That really the fun the one with the one with Phil Stiller. Uh,
Phil Stiller.
Phyllis Stiller that we just
Oh,
did. We
the
just did. Yeah.
Boneyard.
Yeah, the Boneyard. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
that one, the Boneyard, and also the other one that I like the Killer Plants one.
The
I always
Deadly
forget the name of.
Spawn. Yes,
Deadly Spawn. Yeah. So there you
yes.
go. There's our triple bill right there.
You
Those
can
three.
count on one hand the films that Ron have enjoyed
Yeah.
during
I
this.
know. I can't remember the names of them, but I remember which ones I liked. Yeah. So we're up to three now.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's move on then to a slightly more serious film from a few years later. I'd actually write the name down. The year is it's like 77, 78, something like this. This came out, I think.
What was the title again?
Axe.
Oh, right. Yes. Which was very difficult to look up on IMDb because it's called Axe. Oh wait,
Right.
77. It's according to IMDb, it's at 77. Yeah,
Yeah, there we go then. Okay, yeah. So
yeah. Or the
Axe,
original title, Lisa.
Lisa was the shooting, and I think it did get original release as Lisa's in a few places, but not much. Also known as the California Axe Massacre
Mm.
and the Virgin Slaughter, I think it was known in some places. So this one, I think this is interesting in so much as this is one of those titles, we've spoke about this before here and there in various episodes, but I think this is one of those ones that kind of had a longer shelf life than it might otherwise have had and has come around again
Hold on one
now.
second.
Ah,
There was a couple places where this was called the California Axe Massacre,
yes,
but so this was not set in North Carolina.
I think it is set in North. Oh, it's set. anywhere you like, really. I don't think anyone specifically
Oh,
mentions any place, do they? Actually, they might. They
oh,
might
okay.
even specifically mention somewhere in North Carolina at some point, but um,
So why would they call it California?
gets more people in, I guess. The North Carolina Axe Massacre, I suppose, doesn't quite have the same.
Mm, mm.
Maybe when it played in drive-ins in California, so they
Yeah.
gave it that
Okay.
name to give
Anyway,
it a more.
it's
Yeah.
neither here
But
nor
no, it's
there.
actually
So
I hadn't picked up on that. But yes, you're quite right. It is because knowing it's from North Carolina, it does seem very much like it seems somewhere. It's either there or it feels like a bit Midwest or something, right? But
yeah.
it doesn't.
It definitely doesn't feel like a California movie, though.
No, even though California is kind of
No.
huge, and I suppose there's places that do look like this in California.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
guess.
doesn't
Yeah.
seem like one, does it? No.
Yeah.
Um, but this one, what I was going to say is now there's a Blu-ray and everything, and there's a commentary and stuff. But like it's always kind of slightly been on the cult horror film radar, specifically because this was one of the original UK video nasties.
Right.
Um, and a classic example of one that was on the video nasties list, I think, more than anything, because of the packaging. The packaging had a
Mm,
picture of a big axe dripping in blood, and it's axe. So,
mm,
you know, it just got hauled in with all the other things like Driller Killer and Cannibal Holocaust and I Spit on Your Grave. And
sure.
but it did, yeah, an original video nasty, which I think the further and further away you get from the video nasty kind of era, I think more and more people are just shaking their like, this was illegal? Like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy. This is nuts.
Well, but I mean, back in like the 60s, 70s, and 80s, I mean, people just would just I mean, look at the things that are legal today. I mean, like they're like banning books, which are like people are think those shit are legal. So, I mean, all it
Yeah,
takes is someone nuts enough to convince other
yeah,
people to be
true,
nuts enough
true.
that anything can be illegal, right? So,
But it just seems so strange, like in the company of, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think any of these films, but like at least with something like a Cannibal Holocaust or a I Spit on Your Grave or
mm,
something, you kind of
right,
understand why someone might be
right,
triggered by
Trip,
this, right? Because it's
right,
pretty
yeah, sure,
full on. But this,
right,
like,
mm,
you know,
yeah,
and there's even worse examples on the list of things that are just like even compared to some of the other like really kind of unremarkable films on the video nasties list. Even this seems kind of shocking or gory compared to some of the real, like, what
right,
the hell is
sure,
this doing on the list kind of titles,
yeah, right, right.
which we may get to further along on this trip. Um,
Yay.
so anyway, yeah, Axe, Pat Patterson was a producer on this one as well. Good old
Okay.
Pat.
Yep.
I don't think he got to sleep with any hot women, as far as I know, but
Yeah.
he has a serious side too.
Didn't sleep with Leslie Lee.
Well, Leslie, let us know. I mean, it's none of our business, but let us know. Leslie, who wasn't in anything else either, it doesn't seem, right?
Yeah.
Surprisingly, because she does a pretty good job
Yeah,
here.
she was decent. Yeah. Well,
Directed by,
she was the narrator of American Playhouse.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Directed and written by Frederick R. Friedel, who's also in it. Interestingly, he made another film kind of around the same time, maybe a little bit before this or a little bit after, I can't remember, called Kidnapped Coed, um, which
Mm.
is not a bad little. I mean, these are both kind of thrillers. This leans more towards horror territory, which is why we're talking about it. Kidnapped Coed was a little less horror tinged. But the interesting thing was they both have this actor called Jack Cannon in. So at a certain point, Frederick Friedel had lost the copyright for both of these films. So I think early in the 2000s or something, he edited them both together. So the story would be Jack Cannon was playing identical twin brothers, and one story was one part and the other story was the other, and put it out as Bloody Brothers, I think, and then got copyright over that. So
Oh, okay.
if you're interested in seeing a weird remix version of Axe. There's this version out there mixed in with Kidnap. I've never actually seen it. It's quite difficult to
Like the
find. I think
brothers.
it got some
Mm,
screenings, but then I don't think it's on any kind of. I don't think it got
mm,
it released in any format. But I would be kind of interested to see
right.
how that plays out. Anyway, yes. So Jack Hannon is one of these basically thugs, these gangsters, right? They're on the run.
Mm,
Frederick Friedel's the guy. He's the curly-haired guy who they kind of have as sort of like a hostage, right?
right.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and they're on the run from a, they're pretty ruthless, sadistic types. That they stop at this kind of quickie
Is
mart
he a
place.
hostage? I don't think he's a hostage. He's kind of one of them, but he's just the one with the morals. He's like
Well,
the voice of,
I
he's
don't
the
know. I got the
conscience a
feeling
little
they were
bit. So
taking him a lot. Like, I don't think he wants to be with them, right? Like, I think they've got something over him, right? Like, because he
yeah,
was,
like he's in the group. He's in the group, right? But he just doesn't. He doesn't have the same kind of
yeah, I
like
guess so.
the.
Yeah.
I will say these are like gangsters or whatever, but these are like the least careful
Oh
gangsters that have
yeah,
ever,
yeah, yeah,
ever lived,
yeah, yeah,
right? And I think he's probably just more like dudes. If we're gonna be gangsters, we need to kind of like
yeah.
bring it down a bit. Like
Right, right. Yeah, he's less of a psycho. Yeah, the other they're like natural born killers or something. They just like
yeah, yeah. It's like
killing and
it's
abusing
like
people left, right, and center, and they
yeah, yeah, just
humiliate
throwing
this.
fruit at people in the
Yeah,
supermarket and
humiliate that woman in the queer, which is probably the most kind of disturbing scene in a way, right? Because
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's not a pleasant scene, right? Like they're very
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
unkind.
It's good. Yeah, it's quite. The beginning of the movie, especially, is quite nasty. It's just like
Yeah,
these like
yeah.
nasty.
It's
Yeah,
got edge. Yeah, and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
only 68 minutes as well, all told,
yeah,
the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
lot. Um, yes, and yeah, they end up holing up at a kind of farmhouse, farmhouse in the middle of nowhere, with Leslie Lee she's supposed to be like I think she's supposed to be like 14 years old or something. She's clearly
Yeah.
not, right?
Yes.
That's not
Yeah.
just me being weird like normal. I mean, most people would
No.
say she's clearly not 14 years old,
Not.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
And she's looking after her wheelchair bound grandfather.
Mhm.
And
He's not just in a wheelchair, but he's also basically like a vegetable,
yes,
essentially.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes, yeah, yeah,
Although it's implied that he's sort of aware of what's going on around him, but he's like a completely paralyzed, like he
yeah.
can't move at all or so. So
He's a shit farmer. Let's put it
yeah,
that way.
yeah. I'm sure that they don't make that much stuff there
No,
on that farm
no.
there.
I think they've just got some chickens by the look of things.
Yeah, yeah,
One of which may end up that did look like some genuine chicken slaughter in case anyone out there is
yeah, yeah,
sensitive about such
yeah,
things.
yeah.
And yeah, and spoiler alert. I mean, it doesn't really affect. It's more of a mood piece than like a
Mm.
big reveal or anything.
It's
But
sort of like Last House on the Left, I guess, right? Kind of thing. I guess would be the
a little bit,
closest
yeah, yeah, yeah,
measure.
yeah.
Yeah, so like
Except
the
in
home
this case,
invasion.
yeah. And they
Yeah.
basically try and take advantage of this pre-teen girl.
Mm,
But it doesn't take long before she's kind of turning the tables on, but not in like a Straw Dogs or Home Alone kind of
mm,
way with traps and stuff. Just basically kind
mm.
of quietly slaughters these guys like one
Yeah,
by one,
slaughters them. Yeah,
try and make a
sure.
move
Yeah,
on her. And she's very she's kind of like catatonic and like
yeah.
there's
She's kind of
clearly
mute and doesn't
yeah.
say much, and yeah,
And
yeah,
there's I guess it's inferred as well because at the end there's kind of vaguely inferred cannibalism, and you do start to wonder like, so what happened to the parents of the grandmother, and how did the grandfather like is
uh,
she actually just a little psychopath that they've kind of come
yeah, yeah.
across
And
by
that
accident?
yeah, it's implied that maybe like the parents and the grandmother and also the grandfather, the why he's like that is because of her in the first place, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
that's
They've
yeah.
they've picked on the wrong farmhouse, basically, right?
Yes, yes, for sure. Yeah,
But great because they're horrible people, so we don't
yeah,
really, yeah. So yeah,
exactly. Right.
yeah, 68 minutes, very kind of moody, very minimal, but kind of, for me at least, I'm curious to see how you got on with it. I've seen this a couple of times before. I mean, I think this is quite a neat little, gets under your skin a little bit. It's something a bit kind of creepy. There's no big
Mm,
shocks in it, but it's quite a nice little, so I can see why it has a little cult following. How did you get on with
mm.
Axe?
Yeah, like but the same is that yeah, it's like it was quite like nastier than you'd expect it to be. Like you figure it's
Yes.
just like yeah, so it was really kind of like it was like kind of grotty and gritty and and like you kind of like made you feel like a little bit like ugh. Especially the despite the carelessness of the gangsters,
Mm.
right? Like you kind of like makes you kind of like really despise them, right? So it got the point across at least at that point. Yeah, and she's sort of this kind of she, despite the fact is not really an actress, she had never done anything else too, but she's relatively creepy and
I think so, yeah.
so yeah, so and gets the point. Yeah, so it was a nice little atmosphere piece. It wasn't really boring. It was just clipped along, nice. I think it was just the right length for this. Anything more would have been a little bit of a like a stretching it out a little bit and a lot of
Yeah.
padding. So didn't need a lot
It
of padding.
seems
So yeah, it was
it
quite
seems almost designed to be on a double bill and a
mm,
drive-in or something, doesn't it?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was pretty effective in what it needed to do. So yeah, so it was a nice little watch, I think. Yeah.
Wow. Has this
Yeah.
overall
I don't know
been
what that.
the best show for you so far,
I
possibly?
think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. They're both. I was
Yes.
pleasantly surprised by both of them. I mean, yeah. So I'd say that they were both okay. Yeah.
Either the selection is better than usual, or I'm slowly grinding you down to my level.
Could be that. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Anyway, you'll be here pleased to
Well,
hear, Ron.
there was a I mean there's a lot less of what my pet peeve is people walk sitting around going like, "Hey, what do you think we should do?"
Hmm.
I don't know. Like there's a lot less of that kind of acting, which is what really bothers me, right? So like the people who are just like off the street and have never acted before, all of the people in both these movies kind of were trying to
Yes,
act.
yes, true,
I
true,
think is
true.
what it was. I think is what I need. I need there to be like in a story and to have like people trying to act that aren't just like saying reciting lines that they've memorized, right? So yeah, and yeah, I so that makes me pleasantly surprised. So
I think what you're trying to say, Ron, basically is you want to see more of Bill Hicks, the other Bill Hicks's fantastic
yes,
singing.
definitely do,
Yeah.
definitely do.
So you'll
Does
be
he come
pleased
up
to hear,
again?
Ron, that next time we're not even not leaving North Carolina. We're still in Charlotte for another
Still in
Charlotte
Charlotte.
double bill.
More JG, more Pat Patterson.
No, because then you'd watch the electric chair and then you wouldn't like him anymore. And
Uh,
I want you to
okay,
keep your appreciation of Pat.
more Frederick Friedel.
No, that would be Kidnap Coed. It's not quite because it's not quite horror enough. No, no, it'd be something
Yeah,
fresh. It'd be fresh.
right. Okay,
Yeah. So until
okay.
then, we're gonna run over some more Charlotte hippies. Yeah, there's loads of them.
Yeah.
It's an infestation. Until then, cheerio.
Mm, mm.